Hello everyone and welcome back to Paddling Pool, and we are here in winners finals with Polar Night versus Yessub. I'm Broken Pinky, I'm joined here by Spy, and we're going to be getting right into things on Zone's Brinewater. Spy, what are some of your thoughts on this stage?
I mean, first of all, hi. Second of all, this map is really interesting. It's just a really good map for backlines, I feel like. And I wouldn't wonder if we saw the Z plus F charter, because I feel like it's just a really good weapon with the tri-strike, and it's a charter, so I feel like this could really be a good weapon on this map.
Yeah, chargers have a lot of easy sightlines on this map. You can just go pretty much across mid very easily with just how much range you have, and obviously the ZNF has just a cracked kit with the splash wall and the tri-strikes. I feel like it's something that we all expected and we were all just kind of dreading, but I mean, we might see, we might not, but we're going to be getting right into things here. Game 1 between Polar Night and Yes Sir. Let's see these team comps real quick.
I'm already gonna see Nintendo just putting a pole in the middle of this zone just because it's Nintendo.
Yeah, ooh, we're seeing some Neo Splashes come out on the side of Polar Night. A newly released weapon kit brought by this patch that just happened a few hours ago. Yessub running with 3 splashes and a machine. Yes Sir is kind of just tried and true comp, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, I feel like it's just 2 Neo splashes against 3 V splashes, so it's just gonna be an entire counter pick kind of thing. Like, the splash pulls out the crab, and then there's the other Neo splash just getting the tri-strike and countering it. This will be interesting, I feel like.
Yeah, and that gets compounded because the hero shot that Polar Knight is running did have an Inkzuka that just got buffed by having its damage against Crab Tank buffed pretty substantially. But right now, Polar Knight not having a crab in sight, not needing it, just holding this zone very effectively. But that's going to be 3 dead, and that's going to be Yessub finally starting to move forward.
Yeah, and now that they actually have 1 crab ready, this could be kind of lethal because they're all kind of trapped in their race right now. But this could be a really good follow-up, but we already see the tri-strike coming in, and they're just trying to capitalize the zone. And the crab is just going all out, but there's the Trizuka that could literally one-shot it if they actually have Object Shredder. I didn't see it right now. But it's really neutral right now, and both teams have a penalty, so this could go either way.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, the zone is being stalled right now. It looks like Yessub has more members up at the moment. That's going to help them get this cap. Just need to paint a little bit more, and there it is. Polar Knight was able to stack up a pretty modest penalty against them, but Yessub already breaking right through it here, and they're just going deep into the base of Polar Knight here. That's just really what Brinewater allows, and right now, Yessub almost with that penalty, getting close to getting that lead back, and Polar Knight has to find some sort of way to respond. Splash trying to get the pick on the crab, but the crab is able to retreat, and that's going to be the lead going to Yessub right here.
Yeah, we just saw the 2 tri-strikes, and I feel like they were kind of used selfishly, but that really didn't give them a lot of advantage. But Yessub is actually has actually worked down their penalty, and never mind, they got a penalty again, but I feel like that's okay. So Yessub actually has the lead right now, and does have the zone, while the hero shot is the only one who's left right now.
Yeah, it is just that hero shot left alive for Yes Sir, and they're just going to get taken out right quick. Charter able to get that pick onto the splash on the side of Yessub. Very nice pick from Polar Knight, but Polar Knight's really struggling with his retake right now. Tri-strikes are being thrown at the crab that just got popped, but crab not caring. Charter gets a beautiful headshot on that crab, though, and that's going to give Polar Knight a window to get back in. But Polar Knight is getting pushed back by this machine. It's actually a 1 versus 1 right now. This crab is going to get popped right in front of this leader. Leader getting the jump camp, but crab is still patrolling the bridge of Polar Knight, and Yessub gets the cap once again, and Polar Knight really not able to set up very comfortably against Yessub right now.
Yeah, but the E-leader is actually popping off right now. Like, he got 1 beautiful shot on that crab, then he got another shot, and then now there's the double kill. That E-leader is just going ballistic right now. But it seems like Polar Knight is kind of conflicted right now because there are 2 people down on the side of them. And it seems like Yessub is gonna catch up pretty quickly because they already capitalized the zone.
Yeah, Atomic on that leader having an astronomical presence right now, but Yessub is really just not caring because they just have so many options that they can throw. Here's Typhlo on that machine, just camping by these ledges, throwing that Booyah Bomb just to really further suppress Polar Knight, and that's gonna be Yessub, sorry, getting through that penalty and just suppressing Polar Night even more right now. Pressures are coming on the zone, but Yessub under that 30-point marker, but Polar Night is able to get a nice quick cap on the zone, delay things just a little bit longer, but Yessub has that zone again and is pushing for a knockout right now.
Yeah, and we just saw Typhlo using the Booyah Bomb. He was really stalling it until the Tri-Strike came along, and then he just had to throw the Booyah Bomb. But Polar Night actually capitalized the zone right now. It's kind of a back and forth, you know, like both teams kind of get their highs and lows, while it definitely looks like Polar Night has the advantage right now, with the 2 Neo Splashes being really good and one even having their special right now. And this could potentially lead to Polar Night getting the lead if something lethal doesn't happen, but never mind. Yessub just capitalized the zone again, and that leaves Polar Night with a penalty.
Yeah, but right now this leader trying to shore things up. They just need a little more pain in the zone, and they got it. Brinewater just such a small zone, though. It's so easy to contest, and I mean, we've been seeing Yessub contested very, very easily, even when Polar Knight's been starting to get some advantage going. But right now, we're going to be heading into overtime, and Polar Knight has to hold onto this zone. They are through that penalty. They just have to hold it for another 5 or so seconds to get all the way down to 27. The crabs are going to be going down. Yessub is dropping into the zone right now, but they get picked off, and that's going to be Polar Knight taking a nice overtime victory over Yessub in Game 1.
The Yessub sweep is over. No, I'm just kidding. No, this was actually really cool because I feel like it's kind of interesting to see how Neo Splash against Splash actually works. And I feel like this game kind of gave us a foundation on how that works. And it was really a back and forth. It was really neutral.
Yeah, exactly. Just very incredibly well played by Polar Knight at the end there. Yessub just exhibited a very strong lockout for the majority of that game, but Polar Knight kept their heads in the game, came back strong, and now Yessub has to make a counter pick. We're now in a counter pick format, so Yessub has to respond to the pressure that Polar Knight just put on them and pick a map that really suits their style a little better.
Yeah, and with the counter pick coming right up, I feel like if they get, you know, a map that is really suited for Crab, which would probably not be Mako Mart, I feel like Yessub could really turn this around to their liking.
Yeah, and Yessub throughout pretty much all these Dapple tournaments have just proved themselves to be such a strong force and just such a difficult team to go up against. But they've been looking not as, you know, unbeatable as they have in some other tournaments, at least comparatively. Just they got that nice 3-0 on ASC Tenchi, Pitiko, and winners semis, but they have been dropping some games throughout this tournament. So Yessub really needs to tighten up their play a little bit because right now they're being met with a hard challenge here up against Polar Knight.
Yeah, but I also feel like it kind of comes down to how you actually like these maps, because I feel like everyone has their preferences, and maybe, I don't know, maybe Brinewater is something that Yessub is not really that suited for, maybe, if you know what I mean. Like, you know,
I know what you mean. They're just trying to get a map that better suits them. And I mean, yeah, as you said, Brinewater, incredibly dominant map for E-leaders. And I mean, that E-leader on Polar Knight just went absolutely ridiculous up against Yes Sir. So it's going to be important for them to pick a smart counter pick here to just try and limit the E-leader, try to, you know, enhance their own crab play. A bunch of these maps did get changed to block a lot of charger sidelines. So maybe Yes Sir is going to try and take advantage of these once they get that counter pick squared away.
I mean, I feel like this might not even help that much because I don't know if you've seen these Twitter clips, like, it was done really poorly. And you can shoot through most of these barriers. It was really done poorly. Nintendo, please pick up the pace and please
make actual changes to this video game. That would be pretty epic in my humble opinion. Is
Kraken
if, you know,
meta.
Look, I mean, I think we might be entering Kraken meta. I think we're going to enter a Kraken meta at some point in this video game, and I'm not sure how I feel about it, because, I mean, you can't tame Kraken charge as easily as you could tame Kraken in Splatoon 1, so...
Yeah, but, like, this special weapon is so much fun. I've played it with 96 Deco. I absolutely love it. I mean, I don't really have that much memory of Kraken in S1 because I was, like, what, 10? At the time, so I don't really know. But anyway, that shall not be what we're talking about. We're going up for splat zones on Sturgeon Shipyard. How do you feel about this?
Zone Sturgeon is definitely a very interesting map mode in this game. It is the zone is kind of far away from spawn, which I feel like not a lot of people talk about because it does take a while to get back to that zone on retake, which makes staggering all the more dangerous on defense. Because if you stagger too much, then that zone timer can quickly tick down towards 0, and it looks like Yessub going to be trying to take advantage of that with just their aggression and their ability to get picks. But we will see how it pans out for them as we head into Game 2 between Polar Night and Yessub. Polar Night not changing a thing about their comp. Yessub is going to be bringing on a second machine to augment the 2 splashes.
Yeah, I feel like it's just more bomb output, and I feel like for a lengthy zone as for Sturgeon Shipyards, it's really important to get a little bit more paint. And I feel like if they actually combo their booyahs, it could actually lead to an instant capitalized zone. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but right now Typhlo on this machine is just showing why Machine is so incredible on this map. So many ledges, so many corners, so many vantage points for Machine to just sit uncontested and be so difficult to deal with. And Yessub is already just making some beautiful use of this aggressive push right now, pushing all the way into court. They are 2 down right now, but they're still suppressing Polar Night very, very effectively. Polar Night goes 2 down themselves. This leader trying to get the pick on the machine. They do get the close range direct though, or the close range shot, which is so nice, and Polar Night starting to push back into the zone.
Yeah, I feel like the E-leader is just gonna be kind of an important part of this again. And I mean, Yessub already went down to 49, which is a really strong push off the start, and the machine is kind of getting some distraction going on, while the hero shot is kind of trying to deal with that crab with the Trizuka again. I mean, it's really strong against crab, so that is really good for it. So yeah,
exactly. Now this shot somehow getting the pick on the splash in that core, just trying to dance and trying to stay alive as long as possible, and they were able to actually get that pick somehow. Not quite sure they were able to do it, but Yessub, sorry, still has control of the zone and is holding onto it with an iron fist as they are almost through that penalty here. And once they get through that penalty, it's going to be looking dicey for Polar Night. There we go. That penalty is gone. Booyah Bomb is out. Charger gets the pick on one of the splashes, though. That's one less crab Yessub has for this hold, but they still have another Booyah Bomb in their arsenal. And Polar Night trying to use their tri-strikes to make it to zone, but Yessub is just painting over them, but now they're forced to retreat. Polar Night gets that cap once again.
Yeah, and that machine was just really pressured out right now because there was the E-leader and then there were also the tri-strikes. It was just nothing the machine could do at this point. And Polar Night actually has worked off their penalty right now, and they actually work it down, but Yessub actually interrupts everything and gets in while everyone on the team of Polar Night is down. This could be a really huge opportunity for them to push in right now because we already see Typhlo on the machine getting to the ledges and kind of trying to pressure, while the E-leader, of course, taking advantage of the distance. While tri-strikes are flying into the zone, but I feel like Yessub will not let them interact right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yessub just trying to hold that stranglehold, and that's going to be 3 dead for Polar Night. It's just Atomic on this leader, and Atomic forced to jump out. They do have that Wavebreaker, but Wavebreaker's not going to help them on this retake right now. Yessub is just having such a strong hold right now. Typhlo is sharking in the core, waiting for the leader to drop. There it is. That's the pick. Zuka's going to try and come out zone, get some picks, but that's going to be a wipeout on Polar Night. And Yessub takes a very strong game 2 here, bringing the set count to 1-1.
I feel like Yessub was really going into this aggression right now. Like, I don't know, the anger of losing the first match kind of forced him into going ballistic this time. I mean, it was really nice to see, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yessub was not happy about losing that game 1, and notably, not happy about losing that counter pick advantage, and that counter pick advantage still in the favor of Polar Night, but they have to win this game to maintain it, so this set's going to be looking dicey. Polar Night already knows exactly what they want to do, though, for game 3. We're going to be going right over to Clamblit's Inkblot. No more zones in the set. Spy, what do you think of this map mode?
I like it, but it's also, I mean, I would play Brush on this map, and it's just kind of, I don't know, it feels like it's kind of, you know, I don't have a lot of space on this map. I feel like it's kind of small, like the base is kind of small, and it just feels crammed, but I still feel like it's a really good map for Clam.
Yeah, I feel like this is a very strong Clamless map. in this game, but a lot of the, areas of this map are a little bit clumped, a little bit clustered, can feel kind of awkward to move around at times, but these teams are pretty used to it, and I feel like this is a map mode where we just might, I'm praying for it, we just might see a 96 deco here. I'm just saying, 96 deco, really good on this map mode. If either of these teams are really cool, we will see a 96 deco, but with that being said, we're getting into Game 3, Polar Night versus Yessub. We are seeing a Squeezer coming out for Polar Night and a V Junior, and we're going to be seeing Double Splash, Double Machine coming back out for Yessub.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Polar Night just kind of switched up their comms. I feel like they're more open to different comms than Yessub would be. I mean, they just kind of stick to their Splash and Machine synergy. But as we can see, they're going really into aggression mode again, which doesn't necessarily go for their liking, but they still hold on to their area pretty well, and they definitely have control of mid, and they really go into the aggressive kind of playstyle.
Yeah, right now, Yessub is being incredibly aggressive, pushing forward, have so much pain on the map, but right now, don't have a ton of clamps. There's that ball being formed though right by that basket, just as you like. And right now that basket is open, but Yessub not in the best position to get a big push off this. They do get a few clamps in there. Machine able to get that pick though. That's gonna be an effective wipeout on Polar Night. Yessub keeping this basket open. The Machine dies to the spot bomb though, but there's still members of Yessub on that plat, still getting clamps into the basket. And right now the counter pick of Polar Night is kind of backfiring for them right now.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty neutral right now on the like with the player right now, but we see the Machine going all out again. I mean, they just got 2 picks. This could be really kind of lethal to Polar Night because Yessub still has control of their plat, and this is kind of huge for them. While they just kind of stall out and collect clams, and if this follow-up is actually really to their liking, this could be another really strong push for Yessub. But it seems like they didn't really get the follow-up on this, and yeah, Polar Night is just straight up to counter with specials, and they have control of mid right now.
Yeah, Yessub kind of lost that push, and immediately Polar Night pushed very aggressively, but this Machine wins the 1v2, almost gets a 3rd pick for their troubles, but still heavily reducing the numbers of Polar Night right now, and Polar Night really struggling to find their footing here once again. It just feels like these Machines are so hard for them to deal with right now. And I mean, even now, it's 3 versus 3 right now. And Yessub already pushing up so aggressively. Machine with another pick on that right side. Gets another kill on the shot. Throwing that football forward. Football by the basket. And Yessub going for another basket break here. Almost there. The football sitting there. And that's going to be the basket broken for a 3rd time.
Yeah, I mean, they really have a lot of energy going into this. They always get to collect clams even if this push really wasn't to their liking because they didn't get any kind of follow-up, but they still got some points, which is not that bad. And I mean, their penalty is only 10, so this could still be really good for them. But Polar Night is just kind of being in middle right now, and they have control while Yessub is just kind of stuck in their base while the Trizuka always comes off, and the hero shot also there to support the Squeezer. And I feel like the Squeezer is just gonna go in while Polar Night already has their big clam. It seems like it'll disappear, but they actually got points while one just jumps out because they didn't want to anymore.
Yeah, but unfortunately for Polar Night, 3 of them went down on that push, so they only got the football in the basket. It was just that Squeezer left alive. Squeezer had to jump out. There was nothing else that they could do. And the Booyah Bomb gets the pick onto the V-Shot. That's another dead on the side of Polar Night. Yessub, they let a football go in their basket, and they did not want any more in there. And they're just quickly scoring. They're getting this knockout here and now, and Yessub takes it on Polar Knight's counter pick and goes up 2-1 on that match point.
Like, I feel like this aggressive kind of playstyle really goes to the liking of Yessub because I feel like Polar Night is not really prepared for a lot of that. Even if they do get, you know, some kind of counter, like we just saw, they kind of got into mid, but then Yessub kind of overran them again. But I feel like if Polar Night actually were to kind of change their playstyle, which is pretty hard admittedly, I feel like they could kind of counter this aggressive playstyle.
Yeah, I feel like Polar Knight counterpicked to an oddly small and fast-paced map mode considering how slow that they've been liking to play in this set. And right now, it seems that they're going to be going for another fast-paced map mode. I'm not sure. Well, we don't know exactly the specifics, but it looks like they're hovering on Rainmaker right now. But Polar Knight kind of has their backs against the wall here. You know, they lost that counterpick advantage. They lost 2 games in a row right now, and they have to win these next 2 if they want to make it to the winner side of Grand. So right now, Yessub putting a ton of pressure on Polar Knight right now. It's just incredibly difficult for Polar Knight to get situated, I feel. Yessub is just running over them at this point.
Yeah, I feel like at the point of losing the first round, Yessub was like, you are gonna go down or something. I don't know. They just kind of went into full aggression mode after that first match, and it kind of sends a signal, I feel like you do not mess with us or something.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Yessub is just saying you can't mess up against us once because we will just take advantage of that so incredibly well. It's just, once they get momentum going, it's very hard to stop them.
Definitely, I feel like Yessub is just a really strong team in general, and I feel like using their really aggressive kind of playstyle is really something their combo is about, because it is really aggressive.
Yeah, and it looks like Polar Knight's going to be feeding towards that aggressive playstyle once again, going for another fast-paced mode here, Rainmaker, Scorch, Gorge. I really would have expected Polar Knight to go with something a lot slower paced, because they do like to get set up, you know, with that E-Leader, with those strikes, with that Zuka. But, Bai, do you have any thoughts on this map mode and how Polar Knight can make use of it?
I think this map mode is really interesting because you have the side of the grades, which is like kind of faster, but it also puts you in a lot of risk, and then there's this right side where on the checkpoint where it's definitely safer, but it takes up more time and more coordination, I feel like, even if the grades are kind of just for that one scenario where the other team doesn't have any members. But I actually really like this map mode. I feel like it's one of the better map modes of Scorch Gorge.
Yeah, and I mean, Polar Knight's going to be trying to take advantage of it. Polar Knight not changing with their combo whatsoever. Yessub sticking with what's been working for them, and we're going to be getting right into game 4 here. Yessub again up 2-1. If they win this game, they win the set, move on to winner's grand. So Polar Knight really going to have to try and stop it. They're going for that first pop, and it's going to go in favor of Polar Knight, which gives them a lot of room to move around it. And they do get an opening 2 picks onto Yessub. This could be Polar Knight's strategy. They have control of that Rainmaker right now, and they're making a charge for that first checkpoint.
Yeah, they're really going into aggression mode now too. I feel like Yessub was really not expecting that, and it just kind of put a lot of pressure on them, and they got overrun like this. But this push could actually just end right now, because they did not get the checkpoint, and they didn't really get that big follow-up they were hoping to get. But
Yeah.
it seems like Yessub is just straight up for a counter again. I feel like this will just be back and forth with how the aggressive playstyle plays out on this.
Exactly, and I mean, Polar Knight had a really strong opening push, but it just fizzled out, and they're all locked up onto their platform right now. Yessub wasting no time, getting that lead, getting that checkpoint. They're still there. They still have the numbers advantage. They just need to get this pop, and they will be getting a huge push off of it. They get the grab. They're just running it forward right now, not even caring about the risk about it. Gets below 30, all the way down to 26. What a response from Yessub.
Yeah, definitely. That was just really, again, full out aggression, and it really is to their liking, because they were able to get this really huge push. But Polar Knight absolutely does not like to see that, and just kind of decides to jump off the mat to reset the Rainmaker. And it seems like Yessub still has control of the enemy's base, while the 2 splashes just kind of take care of everything. And the machine is also really good into this. And the Rainmaker is just kind of trying to get in again, but the Trizuka actually gets the pick on this.
Yeah, but right now, Yessub says, we don't even care about points. We just want to get it as far away and as inconvenient as possible for you guys. And right now, Yessub doing that. Splash gets another trade on to that Junior, I believe. The Squeezer trying to hold down the forward, but the Rainmaker gets grabbed once again. Polar Knight gets wiped out by their spawn. Maker's gonna get popped again, gonna get grabbed again. And they're just, Yessub is just forcing it, just trying to put as much pressure as possible, trying to just force themselves in. Machine goes in, gets a trade, Maker grabbed again, Maker dies again, but Yessub does not care. They just want to stay there, but they finally get wiped out. Polar Knight finally able to stop that attack from Yessub, but that attack, that push lasted 2 whole minutes, and Polar Knight has not a lot of time left on the clock to make this comeback.
Yeah, and the splash, like the Neo Splash on the side of Polar Night, was kind of trying to get some value out of just going to the enemy base, kind of distracting. But it really didn't go to their liking because they actually got picked off immediately because there were 2 people right now. And Yessub actually just tries to turn this around again. Literally, Polar Night just had the advantage and the kind of control of the map, and Yessub is just kind of trying to get into this counter-attack kind of again. And Polar Night actually finds themselves at the same situation that they found themselves like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, and I mean, Yessub already back. Polar Night tried to make an attempt of a push, went 3 down, and Yessub just capitalizing on every single opening they have. For every inch, they'll take a mile and then another for good measure. And Yessub already back in the spawn, still has the numbers advantage up against Polar Night somehow. It's just this hero shot left alive. Hero shot is going to go down to the machine. Machine trying to swim forward, gets taken out by a bomb, but again, it just does not matter to Yes Sir. They're still there, they're still in your walls, and they're still being annoying, but finally, I think this aggression from Yessub is going to end, but right now, Polar Night has so little time left on the clock. They have a little over a minute to make it all the way to 25 points, and Yessub is probably going to be pushing them aggressively in that time.
Yeah, that fizzy bomb of the machine is already good at dealing damage, and the machine just kind of finished off the Rainmaker. And I feel like that... oh my god. Yeah, which weapon is this? Oh yeah, it's the Squeezer. Just kind of sharking in the middle and just kind of getting 2 picks. And this could potentially be huge for them because Yessub was actually right at getting back to this control. But actually they have to capitulate, and Polar Night actually got this checkpoint, so the Trizuka is actually kind of getting a pick, and Polar Night actually seems to kind of adapted to this playstyle that Yessub has been forcing upon them, while it seems like Polar Night doesn't really get that much advantage because the Rainmaker actually just died, and it's actually a wipeout for Yessub, and with that, Yessub has won this and actually won this set 3-1.
Yeah, Yessub just has a beautiful defense for Polar Knight's final push there. They got that first checkpoint, 2 went down immediately because Yessub is just that strong of a team, and Yessub stifling every opportunity Polar Night has, taking the set 3-1, moving on to winner's side of Grants. Absolutely phenomenal play from them.
Yeah, I feel like that was just really, again, with the aggression, but that first push of Polar Night was actually kind of setting a foundation for them, because you could kind of see that Yessub was not expecting that kind of playstyle. Like, as I said before this match even begun, if Polar Night actually kind of adapts and changes their playstyle, this could potentially be huge for them, but as we see, they didn't really get that much value out of it, but they actually kind of got it to work, and I feel like Yessub was not expecting that.
Yeah, but even still, Yessub was just collected. They saw that one push, they were like, you didn't even break checkpoint. That's amateurish. They broke checkpoint with ease, and then just cleared it down to 26, pulled it out of Polar Knight's reach, and Yessub is just absolutely a monstrous force in this tournament, and they're in winner's side Grants because of it. Polar Knight is still in this, but they're in the loser's bracket right now. They have to win the loser's final set for the chance of the rematch, but that's all going to come back and more as we go to a short break here before we go back into some of the adventures in the loser's bracket. So stay tuned for after this break. See you guys in a bit.
Splatoon Stronghold, a stronghold for competitive Splatoon. providing resources to long-timers and newcomers alike. If you're new to the competitive scene or still figuring out how to join, we have a Getting Started guide and plenty of other resources to help you in your journey. If you are a seasoned veteran, we still have plenty to offer. You can find and join tournaments as well as participate in our Captain Forum and find free agents and teams. Our mission is to make competitive Splatoon easily accessible to everyone. So what are you waiting for? Join the Splatoon Stronghold today!